turn on your phone, or your phone's on, you open the screen, and you're saying, I have 3 minutes to look at this, 3 minutes to look at that, 3 minutes to look at this. Twitter's a tremendous, and it's replaced the AP newsletter. And that's really what it's become. So how do you get into those lines to do those things?
In a way, the pay TV networks have been using freemium, the concept, for a long time. You get your free Starz weekend.
Right.
And then eventually, and the idea there is that you just, it's slightly different than just pure, upgrading, pure monetization, but you get somebody hooked. Now, I don't know how well that worked in the past with movies, but the idea for us now is we have this original content. It's the only place you can get it. HBO's been doing it for years. Showtime does it. And so we have a couple ways that we do, quote unquote freemium. We created a bunch of social media games on Facebook. They were free, and then you could buy things within the game. They were both Spartacus related, so our biggest series to date. One was for the Guys of the Arena, which was the second season, it was prequel, and one was for Vengeance. The idea behind that was sort of twofold. One, it was great. We can make some money, fantastic. That's great. But it was also, it's free and people get to use it and interact with the show because it is based on what's going on in the show in ways that they can't do anywhere else. And so twofold. One, let's give the current customer, a way to stay in touch between seasons. But also, maybe we will attract new consumers. And it's more of a branding, marketing model. So freemium for us in and of itself, past the gaming model, I don't know, but I think if you're using it as more than just a pure, we spend $250,000 to make the app and we need to make more than that, we're looking to pass beyond that. Like, okay, what if you look at this as just a marketing spend? It's a $250,000 marketing spend that can be subsidized by some in-app purchases. And you're right, it was all, I think we had another game model before. It's all the in-app, right? I don't know how many you get, say you get 100,000 downloads, you get 10,000 people who are going to continue doing it, and you're going to continue buying. And to your point, there's this market, there are some people in there who are going to want it, and some people that you don't know how to serve, so I'm marketing to 90,000 people. And then the other 10,000 people I'm actually making money off of. So that's how we use it, but I don't know how it goes beyond the game model. Specifically.
Everyone forgets when they think freemium, though. They forget that cheapium.
Yeah.
Making up a term.
99 cents.
99 cents is actually a pretty viable business model. In other words, yesterday we were talking in the gaming section about how Disney is selling the Brave version of Temple Run. Sorry, brain freeze. The first of many senior moments to come. But they're selling their branded version. But the branded version, let's face it, it's an ad, right? It's an ad for the movie. But they're still selling it because people will pay for it. So one of our clients, First Television, covered the Casey Anthony trial. Talk about content that no advertiser on the planet has their brand associated with, right? So murder of a small child. But there was still a market for it, so they sold an app that had real-time updates on your phone that you kind of surreptitiously, so that when you're at work, follow. They had massive traffic on it, but they sold it for 99 cents. And they didn't give it away. The free version was actually on their website. You go to their website and see it on. But if you wanted to see it on your mobile phone in a discreet and convenient way, it was 99 cents. They sold tons of them. They were on the top news apps. The one thing that I want to try is our syndication technology allows us to take a conversation with one person. And the one I want to try it with is Justin Bieber, just because it's so crazy. And so Justin Bieber can't possibly have a conversation with his fans, right? It's just not possible. First of all, they're all screaming, and second of all, there's too many of them. But somebody can interview Justin Bieber and take questions from the fans. But if you try to actually do that, there's too many questions. So at some point, can we just charge people to ask a question? We just say, fine, if you want to ask a question, it's $20.
Here, as to what if it really doesn't pan out? What if the monetization plan, for digital really doesn't pan out? What are the next steps? What are the other possibilities? And it seems like the more shows I go to, the more we assume that eventually we'll hit bottom and it'll go up. And I'd just like to see somebody do something just to kind of scenario that out to see that there is money into that. Just accenting what you were saying, Mark.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think there has, if there's no money at the end, if people are really unwilling to pay anything for content, and I don't think that's true, because I think we've shown that even in the music industry, where people are stealing at a ridiculous rate, people are still paying. But let's hypothetically say there's no money. People just said, we're not going to pay. You're going to end up with a totally different content market. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's what I was talking about, the trickle back. It's no one's going to make that content because they're not going to make money for it. I mean, it's great to say that artists are doing it for the art, but that's not true. People are in it to make money, and even if they are doing it for the art, they still have to make money. You know, food's not free. So I think, you know, that's the other option. But I'm not even convinced that you hear about the demise of TV and the demise of pay TV. I'm not convinced it's the demise. I think, you know, people complain about the price of their cable bill. It's high. Take out the fact that you get high-speed data, which everybody wants, and even teenagers are willing to pay for. You know, you're looking at $70 to $100 for a ridiculous amount of content. So, do I think it's going to change? Probably, but it's still a very good deal. And maybe it has to come down in prices. Maybe the model has to change. But I cannot believe that the entire nation or the entire world is going to say, we're not paying for it anymore. All has to be free.
Nielsen says, I think the average person watches between 8 and 10 channels, so of course the average person would like to just pay for the 8 to 10 channels, but the problem is that the paradigm that exists today where you're paying for the other 500 channels, you know, that doesn't solve overnight.
And that you're subsidizing the best channels, right? So if you want MTV, or even better, ESPN, you know, they run that market. And they are not lowering their costs at this point. And if they're not going to lower their costs, the cable companies can't lower their costs, and they can't break them apart. I mean, hypothetically, I would love to see an a la carte model or a mini package model. I don't watch sports, so I don't want to pay for ESPN. So, and that's the most expensive one in the package. So, you know, why do I have to do that? And I'm not even sure that us, the pay TV network, or even the other networks are opposed to that. You know, because they get, well, some of them, we get paid on a per subscriber basis. So, that's fine. Ask the people who actually are using us. But again, I think it's going to have to change. I think it's going to have to evolve somehow. I don't know how it starts. And I said, like, that's the battle we face every day, which is we want to be prepared. For us, though, that 1%, is a model that is changing. So we have to somehow be able to continue making money off that 1% while trying to move it to another 1% without, you know, and like I said, at some point we'll say, I assume everyone will say, okay, we got to move over here now. You know, we got to sell songs for 99 cents.
And really think that you enjoy. We did something last week to maybe step to the branded side, where Tom Brady came in and did this Under Armour little scoop on, you know, Tom's from California, but he's playing this whole Boston joke about how we think he speaks versus how he really speaks, and it was really helping his image. And like, I don't know, one of those maybe here, the New York Giants fans, remember what he said in the locker room to his team, or what his wife said to the team after the game. But the reality was, Tom had some things that he wanted to, he wanted to show the lighter side of Tom Brady. And a lot of our celebrities come to the table, and I think people want to see that. So I think it starts with the content. The other thing I think it's critical, at least on the Funny or Die side, is how do we get this content out there? How do we see it properly? What's our viral strategy? What's our blueprint? Like everyone's like, how do you make a viral video? It's like, you don't. You start with great content. You try to wrap it with your social tools. We have 4.5 million Twitter followers, picking Facebook. We know how to reach out to the blog world, so we will actually take our content and embed it across the web. But I think there's a combination of ways to generate content. We very rarely spend money marketing our content. So we do it organically. We see that to be the best success, at least from our non-branded content, our celebrity content. On the branded side, same theory applies. Like if you want to have a brand come in and you know, try to play the hero, and be like over the top brand heavy, it's not going to play well. It's not going to generate awareness. It's not going to get picked up on SportsCenter or across the web. So how do we, as consultants as well as content creators, work with brands, collaborate to create the best entertaining content the brand can seamlessly wrap inside of, versus the other way around. Let's create a TV commercial for the web. We know that does not work. So I think those are just some of the smaller